Hello everybody, how you doing? This is Mr. Douse. In today's lesson, I'm going to go over equations of lines, otherwise known as solving for y. And what I mean by that is, what if I have this equation right here, a negative 7x plus 2y equals a negative 9, and my goal is to get this into slope-intercept form, where the y is all by itself. That's why it's called solving for y, and the slope and y-intercept are on the opposite side of the equal sign. What if you need to solve for the slope of this equation, or what if your goal was to graph this equation on a line? The first thing you need to do is to put into slope-intercept form, and I'm going to show you how to do that. First example is 8y equals 2x plus 14. And again, my goal is to get this into slope-intercept form for various reasons. The first thing I need to do here in this case is to divide both sides by 8, so I can get that y all by itself, and when I divide everything by 8, I do get y by itself. 2 and 8 are both even numbers, so I can divide them both by 2 and I get 1 over 4x, and then 14 and 8 are also both even numbers, so if I divide them both by 2 I get a 7 over 4. So my goal is to get the y all by itself, and I did just by dividing by 8, and this is the equation of this line. So maybe you needed the slope, maybe you were solving for the y-intercept. I know how to do that. Or maybe you need to plot this line on the graph and you had to convert it into this equation first. Example 2 is another one just like example 1. Let's see here. Example 2 is a negative 5y equals 4x minus 10. Well, what do I need to do to get this equation where y is all by itself? In this case, I'm going to divide everything by a negative 5. So when I divide everything by a negative 5, I will reach my goal of getting y by itself. And in this case, y equals negative 4 over 5x. The negative 10 over negative 5, the two negatives makes that a positive, and 5 can go into 10 2 times, so it becomes a whole number 2. This is the equation of this line here. And again, all I had to do here was divide everything by negative 5. And the slope in this case is a negative 4 over 5, and the y-intercept is a positive 2. Well, let's make this a little bit more challenging. These are one-step problems. Let's move to two-step problems where it gets a little bit more challenging. Again here, I have a 3 minus y equals 7x, and my goal is to get the y by itself and the slope and y-intercept on the other side. So in this case, what do I need to do to get the y by itself? Do I cancel out the 3? Do I cancel out whatever is next to the y? In this case, you want to leave whatever is next to the y all by itself until the last step. So right now, I'm going to cancel out this positive 3 by subtracting 3. And when I do that, I'm slowly simplifying this down. I have a negative y now equals, what comes first here? Well, if you look at the slope-intercept form, the slope and x always comes before the y-intercept. So in this case, the 7x is going to go before that negative 3. So I have a negative y equals 7x minus 3. That's one step I've done. I've got to do one more step to cancel out this negative sign. Well, what is imagined in front of this negative sign? Is a 1. So to cancel out this negative 1, I need to divide the left side by negative 1, which means I need to divide everything on the right side by negative 1. And when I do that, I get y by itself. Hooray, that's my goal. 7 divided by negative 1 is a negative 7. X, and then a negative 3 divided by negative 1. Two negatives make it a positive 3. So this is the equation of this line right here. So again, we know the slope is a negative 7. The y-intercept is a positive 3. One more problem. This one, let's see here, similar to the last one, kind of. I have a negative 7x plus 2y equals a negative 9. Again, my goal is to get this y all by itself, just like in the slope-intercept form. And again, I'm gonna ignore this 2 for the time being. I want to cancel out this negative 7x. And the first thing to do there is to add 7x. So when I add 7x, I have just a positive 2y on the right side equals, again, the x comes before the lone number, so a positive 7. I don't need that positive actually. This is 7x minus 9. And let's see here. One more thing to do here. I need to now get rid of this 2. This is 2 times y. The opposite of 2 times y is to divide by 2. That will cancel out that 2. And I'm going to be left with a y equals 7 over 2x. And a negative over positive will stay negative, 9 over 2. So my my equation for this line is y equals 7 over 2x minus 9 over 2, where the slope is 7 over 2 and the y-intercept is a negative 9 over 2. Again, you can always convert these fractions into decimals here, but you generally want to leave the slope as a fraction for a rise over run or whatever. So this is how you put equations into slope-intercept form, and I hope this helps you out. Have a great day.